It's time for Lefties Losing It. And we're going to start at a place, a sad, miserable place that we have visited many times before, many times, and that is inside the head of Rosie O'Donnell. Driven mad, quite mad with Trump derangement syndrome, that she has now infected her daughter. Her poor 12-year-old autistic non-binary daughter is also raging about Donald Trump.
I'll tell you the truth. My daughter is now saying, damn him, damn Trump, and smashing her hand on the table. And I said, wow, honey, what are you thinking? And she said, he made us move in order for our own safety. And it's now he's destroying the country. You know, listen.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Jim Acosta, by the way, he's on the left of the screen, I think. It's hard to tell those two apart. Jim seems impressed by Rosie making her own child miserable with anxiety and doomsday rhetoric. Even Rosie knows her daughter thinking like this isn't healthy.
I think to myself, you don't want to give this to her. You know, whatever this thing is of me thinking that I have to somehow stand in defiance of him. No, I don't. Somebody can tap me out, you know. I did 22 years. I don't really need to do anymore. And I don't want my kid to be so affected by it. And, you know, she has autism.
But she recognizes what's going on.
Yes.
No, she doesn't recognise what's going on, Jim Acosta, you absolute delusional clown. That poor child is miserable because of people like you and her mother who have filled her head with nonsense. Talking about misery and nonsense, remember Dave Letterman, the former late-night TV host who kind of looks like the Unabomber these days? Well, here is the man who famously took his mistress on a family vacation with his wife and a young child. Just imagine what sort of human you have to be to do something like that. Well, here's our moral, noble crusader, Dave, having a meltdown because Donald Trump called a reporter piggy. Quite piggy.
Just a wonder of idiocy. It's just fantastic. It knows no bounds.
None.
No, and it's never ending. He's our dictator.
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere.
Now watch as even the Karens there try to wrap up this asinine chat. Dave rants about how Donald Trump's accomplishments are the worst thing humanly imaginable. The dude needs help.
Is fraudulent, as is everything about the regime.
Exactly. The regime is right.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I have to go.
Things happen. Just remember, hey, Piggy, things happen.
Things happen.
Good God.
Don't forget to subscribe and love us.
18 times the worst behavior one has witnessed ever anywhere.
Yeah, and everyone seems fine
Think
with
of the worst thing that you've ever seen humans accomplish. This is so much worse.
Now, if Dave Letterman is that triggered by the word piggy, then imagine the meltdown when he realises that Donald Trump referred to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as, and I quote, seriously retarded. CNN was certainly appalled. Funny how they never get appalled when Republicans are routinely called Nazis and fascists and white supremacists. But don't go insulting the uniquely awful Tim Walz. Here is CNN asking Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar about the president's comments.
Something else that the president said. He said that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar probably came to the U.S. illegally, mocked the hijab that she wears, and he called your governor, quote, retarded.
These words shouldn't even be repeated by anyone, much less a president of the United States. Again, he goes after people because they look different than him.
Really? He attacked Tim Walz because he looks different than him? It's not that he is a far-left inept governor who earned his nickname Tampon Tim because he put tampons in boys' locker rooms across the state. Not because he's so hopeless that hundreds of Minnesota Department of Human Resources employees accused him of failing to act on widespread fraud and punishing whistleblowers. And when the president was asked earlier today if he regretted his characterisation of Governor Walz as seriously retarded, he had this to say. See if you can detect any regret.
Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think that...
You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
I don't know about you, but he doesn't seem sorry to me. Let's go back to CNN and a fiery debate that has gone viral. Clips of this all over social media. And it involves Katie Miller, a Republican political advisor and wife of Stephen Miller, taking on the hopelessly biased hard-left host, Abby Phillip, who pretends to be a moderate, just a neutral host. You ain't fooling anybody, Abby, least of all Katie Miller.
It's about whether someone like Tucker Carlson, who is a very powerful force in the conservative movement.
You host people on your show all the time who call my husband and myself a Nazi.
That is a different thing.
Excuse me, you have Jennifer Welch on your show very often, and you've never pushed back as she has called my husband a white nationalist.
Hold on.
That is no different than Nick Fuentes going on Tucker Carlson's show. It's not, and you should admit it.
Well, hold on. Wait, hold on. How is it anything similar? It's not remotely similar at all. Nick Fuentes sits around and says that he likes Hitler. How is that similar
to... What does Katie have to do with it? What does she have to do with it? She has nothing to do with it.
Indeed, Abby, Katie Miller has nothing to do with it. And you have not only allowed the likes of the irredeemably awful Jennifer Welch to appear on your program and spew the most hateful rhetoric imaginable, without any pushback, might I add, but you have gone on her podcast. You even went on Joy Reid's podcast and agreed with her insane ramblings. Don't pretend you hold yourself to a high standard. You certainly do not. Welcome back. Joining me now, celebrity and royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, let's start with Meghan Markle. She's been dubbed the Salmonella Sussex after she shared a cooking video to Instagram. She was preparing a Thanksgiving turkey, but viewers noticed Meghan was still wearing her gold bracelet and was preparing the raw turkey without gloves. Now, Kinsey, are we being too harsh here, Kinsey? Surely a thorough hand and bracelet wash is sufficient, or is this some sort of a culinary faux pas?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Meghan should be held accountable here. She's trying to position herself as an expert. And this is why people complain about her hair dangling over the food or her not removing all of her jewelry when preparing a meal. Bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli can live in the tiny crevices of metal, stones, and settings if you wear them in the kitchen. You know, you can wash your hands all day long, but if bacteria remains under the jewelry, that can easily transfer to cabinet handles, phones, towels, and toys. She should know better and do better if she wants credibility in this space. Remember on With Love, Meghan, she made bath salts, and someone threatened to sue her over burns on her legs after using those exact same ingredients that Meghan suggested on that program. So if she's going to position herself as an expert, she has to do some research and do a little better.
Well, she's not Martha Stewart, is she? Let's be honest. She's, what do the kids say? Team you, Martha Stewart. She's not really at that level, though I think she aspires to be the next generation's Martha Stewart. Now, Ellen DeGeneres, I thought she had fled America for good, at least until Trump's presidency was over. But Ellen and wife Portia de Rossi have backtracked on their plan to stay in the UK in a bid to escape Donald Trump. According to the Daily Mail, Ellen told her friends that she and her wife are planning to spend more time in California because they miss their friends. They're also apparently dreading the thought of another British winter. I'm sure they would have done their research. You would hope so, Kinsey. British winters aren't anything new. It's been pretty miserable there in winter, pretty much, well, thousands of years.
Well, we've recently discussed Ellen's desire for a professional comeback. I do think she's bored. Of course she's bored. Netflix gave her a new special not too long ago. It got no traction. In fact, the only show I heard mention it was Us. I don't think Hollywood's really ready for her return. I think they will continue to punish her. But I do have some intel for you from her current neighbors in the UK. They don't like her. They aren't friendly towards her, and they hate all of the celebrities like Ellen moving into this once sacred and anonymous area and disturbing and in some cases disrespecting the culture. They wish American celebrities would stay in America. So they are welcoming the thought of a Ellen return to the States.
Well, I'm not surprised the neighbours don't like her after everything we learnt about her and what she was really like, not the sunny, lovely disposition that she showed on air, but what she was like behind the scenes. I'd imagine the neighbours are copying some of that treatment. Now, First Lady Melania Trump has announced that she is stepping into Hollywood as she launches her own production company. The company is going to be called Muse Films, and it will release her first movie project, which is a documentary titled Melania. Kinsey, this film will be in theatres at the end of Jan, and it follows Melania as she prepares to re-enter public life with her family for a second time. I'm not sure how successful this will be. There is a great deal of intrigue and interest about Melania because she is fairly selective with the public appearances she makes.
Well, I think that this is a good, I mean, you're right. When it comes to analytics, will this be successful? Will this get butts in seats? Maybe more at home rentals than theatrical rentals, but I think it's a good way for Melania to try to take back her story. Remember Stephanie Winston Walkoff, who was once Melania's close friend and served as a senior advisor for her during, the early months of the first Trump administration. That relationship collapsed when she secretly recorded audio tapes of the First Lady and then wrote that appalling tell-all, Melania and Me, which detailed some of Melania's frustrations, private frustrations. The scandal became one of the most dramatic personal ruptures to emerge from the Trump White House. And this movie finally gives Melania a voice. So I think that this is her way of trying to take back the narrative from mean girls like Stephanie.
Yeah, that was a shameful little episode, wasn't it? Having private conversations with what she thought was at least a friend or a friendly acquaintance, and to have those released to try to damage and embarrass her. Yeah, I think if it was any other First Lady, the media would have absolutely blasted that individual. Now, Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo from the block, is that what she used to call herself? She's being mocked online after she became the global face of Turkish jeweller Zen Diamond. Lopez shows off some of the jeweller's engagement rings in a new campaign video, but fans have noted how she has collected 6 engagement rings across her long history of engagements and relationships and marriages. Kinsey, I think that makes her uniquely qualified for this role, don't you?
Amen. I mean, maybe J-Lo is confident about what she likes in jewelry and less confident about what she likes in a man. Her jewelry has lasted longer than her relationships, and that's all the testimony I need. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck is doing Dunkin' Donuts commercials, so I'd much rather be the face of a diamond company than the face of a donut company.
That's a very good point. And just quickly, some of the details about Taylor Swift's lavish bachelorette party have been revealed, and insiders told The Sun that there will be at least 3 or 4 bachelorette-style getaways. Kinsey, some great locations they're going to: Nashville, New York, Italy and the Bahamas.
Yeah, if you're hungry for Taylor Swift wedding content, social media will probably feed you more bachelorette content than the wedding itself. So manage your expectations. That's what I would say about this. Taylor and Travis are being very secretive about the wedding. I think you're going to get all you need from the Bachelorette World Tour.
I think that's going to be, what do they say, her hot girl summer, if it's going to be anything. It seems like she's taking the show on the road and picked some very nice locations for this end of single life. And wow, she's also another one like J-Lo, some very high-profile romances in her back catalogue. Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for your time.